How many of you guys have a guitar sitting someplace gathering dust that you don't play because it's got a Floyd Rose style whammy bar on it? Might not be a Floyd Rose, might be an Ibanez Edge or whatever, but you know you've got one and you don't play it because it's hard to change the strings. Well, I'm going to show you the easiest, fastest way to change the strings on that so you can put the guitar back on stage and start doing stuff like this. Or like this. Or even like this.
We like to abuse our whammy bars.
Okay, no jokes about abusing your whammy bars. So I recorded and mixed that tune over the last couple of days with two purposes in mind. One, I wanted to entertain you guys. Hopefully you found it entertaining with all the whammy cams and nonsense going on. Number two, I was hoping to inspire some of you guys who have Floyd Rose or floating trem equipped guitars in a closet somewhere getting dusty to maybe pull that guitar out, put new strings on it, and play some really inspiring whammy bar guitar. So anyway, this video is supposed to be about changing strings, so let's get right into that. All right, to be clear, we're talking about Floyd Rose or Floyd Rose style floating trems that look like these. And your guitar will have a locking nut, like this one or similar to this one. We're not talking about whammy bars that look like this or look like this or your Stratocaster style. So you're going to need a few tools to get the job done. You're going to need some string cutters, little wire cutters, or big ones, it doesn't matter. You're going to need some sort of a speed winder, whether it's a manual speed winder or a power speed winder. And then of course you need the Allen wrench that fits your locking nut and your locking string screws on the bridge. Here's one of my little tricks. I got a cork floor sample from a home center and I put a little bevel on the edge. They just give those away and this will come in handy. You'll see in just a second. Here's that cork flooring sample. And let's start the timer. And now you can see I depress the whammy bar and I insert that cork board, that cork flooring sample underneath the base plate of the bridge assembly. And now the first thing you're going to do is take off your nut clamping block and set that aside. I do one string at a time, so you only need to take one clamping block off. Use your speed winder, take all the windings off of the string posts on your tuner until you can pull the string straight out of that tuning post. Now you loosen your string lock screw, and when you do that, you'll turn the Allen wrench around so that you can get more turns out of it. But leave that Allen wrench right there. Leave it in your string lock screw. Now you can see I'm just pulling the string straight out. I'm wrapping it up. That doesn't matter. You can just throw it away. I do that because I'm OCD about keeping my work area somewhat organized. All right, right here is the big trick. Do not cut that ball end off. This is going to save you so much time. Put the plain end of the string in to your tuning post from the top into the hole farthest away from the bridge, right? And you go straight in, you put a little bend on the string so that it's easy to grab once you go under the string retainer, and pull that ball end tight against your tuning post. Now you're going to cut the excess string off between the end of the bridge saddle and the fine tuner. I'll show you a close-up of that when we do the G string. But now you just slide that freshly cut end in between the saddle frame and the locking insert block. Tighten it up with the Allen wrench that you left in place so that you didn't have to go looking for it. Switch it around so you got some leverage. And now snug that up. You don't want to go ape on it, but you do want it to be pretty tight. Now here I'm putting some tension on it. I'm stretching it. I'm using my speed winder to get some windings around the post. Now I pull that cork block out and I'm tuning it by ear. This is why I only do one string at a time, so that it doesn't mess with the tension on the springs. There you go. We're done with that string. 2 minutes and 37 seconds for one string. All right, now we're doing the G string. Here we are. We're putting the cork block back underneath the bridge plate, the base plate. We're taking off our nut clamping block. We're only going to do the G string here, just for illustrative purposes. Normally I do the G string, tune it, then I do the D string, tune it, put the block back on, but here we're just doing the G string. So take your windings out, loosen your string lock screw, leave that Allen wrench right there. Pull the end out, pull your string out, and now when you put the new one in, bend the end. See how I did that? And now here's why. You go underneath the string retainer, see how that pokes up real nice? It's easy to grab. You pull the string tight until that ball end is against that tuning post. And now here you can see exactly where I'm going to cut. I'm pointing with the X-Acto knife. Right there is where I'm going to make the cut, just past the end of the bridge saddle. You make that cut, poke that freshly cut end in between the saddle frame and the locking insert block. Make sure it's bottomed out. It's as far in as it'll go. Tighten your string lock screw. Go as tight as you can with the wrench that way. Definitely want to turn around and snug it up where you got some leverage. Now you're going to stretch the strings out a little bit. Now you want to use your speed winder to take most of the slack out of the string while you're stretching it. Don't over tighten it here. Get it just close. And then at this point you can take your block out from underneath the base plate of your trem and tune it up by ear. I usually stretch it a little bit here, and then I'll tune by ear, stretch a little more, tune, stretch, etc. And then once you've got it pretty close, throw a tuner on it, see where you're at. And normally we'd go ahead and change the D string, but for illustrative purposes, we're just putting the nut clamping block back in place and calling it good.
All right, so in under 10 minutes, I have chastised you for not using your whammy-equipped guitar. I have made strange noises with my whammy bar. I played you a song, a 2-minute song, illustrating that a whammy bar is not just for making strange noise, but can contribute to some very expressive playing. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, we changed 2 strings, a full third of the strings on this guy. all in under 10 minutes. I hope there's a couple of big takeaways for you. That whammy bars can be very expressive in your playing, and two, changing the strings is really not that hard as long as you follow the techniques that I showed you today. Number one, change one string at a time. Number two, put the string in backwards, put the ball end into the tuning machine. Number three, use some sort of a block to support the base of the trem assembly so that the strings are slack while you change them, one at a time. Alright, that's all I got for today. Until next time, live well and rock hard.